Yo, what's good guys, VENM Fire here back with another video, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys is what I think is an easy defense to learn in the first week of Madden, first day of Madden. By watching this video, you'll understand everything about the defense, but it's one of the easiest defenses to run, and it is very effective. So again, for all of you beginners, if you have not been playing the game that long, this defense will definitely be easy to get your finger around because there's not too many adjustments. Now I will go into some more advanced ways to run it depending on what your opponent is doing, so it will be a full in-depth analysis of the play, but just running it stock, it will not be that complicated for you guys, which if you're new to the game will definitely be helping you guys out. Also, before we get into the video, I do want to remind you guys to go ahead, drop a like on the video, and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 17,000 subscribers, so make sure if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell to be notified every time I upload. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead, get into it. Now, what playbook am I in? I'm in the 4-6 defensive playbook, which is a specialty playbook. Definitely one of the top two playbooks in the game, in my opinion. You got big nickel over G, you got 3-3-5 wide. Right there's two of the best formations. We'll be certainly bringing some more stuff from those two formations in the foreseeable future. You also got some other stuff, but mainly it's going to be those. You got dollar, but mainly 3-3-5, big nickel over G, and 3-3-5 wide. The formation we're in today is going to be big nickel over G. The first thing that you want to do is go to the slot cornerback package. The way you do that is flicking your right stick. So you see I'm on packages. Now I go to slot cornerback. That's just going to give you the normal adjustments. Big nickel over G is a little bit weird. If you're not in that package, your adjustments will be a little bit different. So go to that. Also, the play that we're running is going to be cover 4 palms. I'm sorry about that. I did get a little bit confused, and that's because I actually don't think there's coaching adjustments for whatever reason in practice mode. Usually you would press the right stick, but they literally don't have anything for it. So we do gotta hope that that gets fixed, but it thankfully will not affect the way that this play is actually ran. Because in coaching adjustments, you actually want to make sure that all of your zone drops will stay at default. So the way it is right now, it's perfectly fine. And you need it to be at default for match coverage to work. Again, we're running this cover 4 palms right there on the left hand side. So let's just go ahead, pick that. You can have auto flip on, all that good stuff. So now we're on the field. You notice that I am going against gun bunch. All right, I went ahead and moved the camera down a little bit, but you notice we are going against the gun bunch formation. Of course, you want your slot cornerback on that right side of the field, wide side of the field. Now, just for the starter coverage or the starting way to do this, normally what I would do in years past is pinch my D-line and just press. This year, you actually do not want to press, so I'm just going to reset the play. There's a couple of reasons for that. The main one is for whatever reason, these deep zones do not play very well this year. They do not play very consistent this year, and overall is a pretty big issue that EA needs to fix. For whatever reason, you'll see them getting ran by, and it especially happens when you're pressed, but it also happens when you're backed off. There's nothing I can do about it. It just kind of has a mind of its own. It will get fixed later in the year, I would assume, but it is a little bit unfortunate for now. So don't put yourself at more risk. You're going to not press them, which sucks because cover 4 typically is better pressed. So you're just going to pinch your defensive line. Now take a look at what we have. We have 2 quarter flats, we have a 3 receiver hook here, and 2 deep zones. The easiest way to run this is just to run it simple. You're going to user this player who's on the short side of the field, and you're not going to user the corner, you're going to user this free safety. So user him, you can throw him on a blitz, and yeah, that'll just be the pretty much first way to run this play. You're going to go ahead and snap the ball. You see how everything is almost going to be matched on. Now match can be a little bit inconsistent. You have to pay attention. You saw right there, the running backs seem to be a little bit open. It really does depend on the type of route combo, but for the most part, corner routes will be defended well. And of course, running it stock is not the exact best way to do it, but we do have other ways, if you're more experienced, that will help this play out a lot. So again, this first setup, really all we did was pinch our defensive line, and we just used this free safety right here away from the ball. So again, you can throw him on like a little blitz. I don't know why it's not even letting me throw him on a blitz right now, but guess it's not. So now we'll go show a bench pivot look. You see pretty much everything is defended well. Of course, Jalen Ramsey was able to be pressed, which honestly I might even press depending on the route combo just to show you a little bit better. But honestly, when you press on the right side, it's not as bad, but usually you don't want to press this solo side guy. So I can even go ahead, press like this, leave that guy on the left side alone, and still be able to user him. Honestly, why is it not letting me, for whatever reason, it's not letting me put these guys in different zones. So maybe I have to manually do it through here. I guess it's not letting me, but game's being weird right now, but yeah, here's a look at it. Let's go to a different play. Go to simple Z spot type setup. We'll go here, just a basic setup. Cover 4 palms, typically pretty good against things like this. We'll go ahead, snap the ball, read what we have to defend. You see A is going to be my responsibility temporarily, but everything else is defended well. So because you're, of course, using a safety, you have to watch that last line of defense. It'll be tempting to maybe defend an underneath route by the running back, a slant route, but you saw there, it looked like Doyle potentially could have been defended, but it actually was not the case. If we go to the replay, check out Doyle. We got a 3 receiver hook here. He kind of defends it, kind of doesn't. I guess our zones did save, but for whatever reason, it's not showing up in the play art, which is, definitely amazing. But Doyle, he's down the middle. Looks like, oh, maybe this guy's defending. You can kind of tell right away, and then we're able to recover. Of course, he does kind of go back. Jalen Ramsey ends up picking up the cornerback, which is what you want, and your quarter flag will take the out route. These might be able to be completed. You have a good click on. Could he intercepted as well? The slant gets matched on immediately, so that is a perfect example of simple coverage, and yeah, overall not many steps to do it. Now, of course, with match coverage, I would not recommend running just a cover 4 palms look every single play, 10 plays in a row. People can catch on. If they have a cover 4 beater in their back pocket, you can get beat deep. A lot of people know how to beat it, so you're going to want to mix it. If you want to stay in cover 4 palms, stay tuned for my next setup. But if not, you want to mix it in between cover 3, man coverage, cover 4. It's the best when you're mixing in like that. I've said this since last year, and it is not an every down type of defense. Of course, if you're playing a bum and you're having success, then you can do it, but that would be the different type of a circumstance. So again, user this guy, now our adjustments are working, so that's great. But now you're going to put this guy on this little blitz. I'll show it one more time. Let's go to like a double post. Now, certain plays, again, are interesting. You might see the running back get open here, so that's why I do kind of recommend that other setup. You'll see how the running back has a lot of space, but it is not going to be a huge gain. The deep post also looks like it had a little bit of separation because I was kind of lacking with my user a little bit, so you definitely want to watch out for those things. This is not necessarily, a guaranteed defense. You have to have a good user, and you're going to have to adjust out of it, which is going to bring us ultimately to our next point. So let's go over some of the adjustments that you can go ahead and do. Now, probably should have thrown Aaron Donald somewhere else, but he's going to go in coverage for this setup, I suppose. Now, there are certain beaters in this game that can beat cover 4 quarters deep for a touchdown. I've seen, let's see if I can actually get one to work now. I'm not sure if exactly how it works, but something simple like this honestly might be able to beat cover 4 quarters stock or cover 4 palm stock for a touchdown. You see there, you throw it over the top, pretty much a touchdown. Now, it wasn't as good technically as it was in current gen last year, but it still is dangerous to run cover 4 quarters with all your deep blues in the exact same way that they come into play. So what you typically want to do for this to play it a little bit safe, you're going to throw LB here in a deep half zone, just like so. So this is going to pretty much allow Jalen Ramsey to play a little bit more aggressive, bite down on things, corner routes, things of that nature, without being able to, feel like he's getting beat deep, which is why we have the deep half there. So for this play, we're actually going to be using this middle guy, so you can throw safeties at linebacker out of this formation. Now we're going to leave our quarter flat on the left or on the right, but what we're going to do on the left is create some man coverage. So what I'm going to do is, first thing, man up this outside corner on T.Y. Hilton. The way you do that is you double tap Y or triangle, you press X or square, the right stick up, and then the receiver you want, which of course is going to be the X receiver. I'm not sure why it's not completely showing, but if I snap the ball, it would show. Practice mode, very inconsistent. I really hope they fix this because it is very annoying for me. Or maybe I just go to like a next play where I can actually show it. All right, we just ran a play. Now we're able to show that he is actually manned up. You see there, he's manned up. We're gonna pinch our line. We already threw Taylor Rapp here in the deep half, so our 2 adjustments: pinch the D line, deep half that strong safety, and then we went ahead and manned up that solo side cornerback. So this is mainly a bunch type defense. A lot of people will be running bunch on offense. Of course, you can do variations of this. If there is any kind of solo wide receiver in trips, you can man up the tight end, which is something I've done before, but these specific adjustments do work a little bit better against bunch, I will say that. So now it's going to bring us to a couple of guys. First guy I want to go ahead and focus in on is Leonard Floyd right here. He is in a quarter flat zone, so what I like to do usually is throw him in just in a hard flat zone. Now, you gotta know the adjustment's not gonna work. We're never gonna be able to show perfect adjustments. Again, this is strictly Madden. I'm doing the adjustments, they're just not showing up. I don't understand why, but he is in a hard flat zone. So pretend he's in a hard flat Leonard Floyd. I can't show it, but that is what he is in. The next thing you're gonna do is throw Aaron Donald in a vertical hook. That adjustment is not showing either, which is just amazing. I love Madden this year, but oh, there it is. So now he's in his vert hook. I don't know what happened, but now you can see their adjustments right after I complain. It happens, but Aaron Donald's in the vert hook. You have that quarter flat and a hard flat, and this is what you're going to go with. Now, I could run this play like this. I could either user Fuller or I could user Burgess right here. So I could run it like this, using him, and leave this quarter flat, which is dangerous because what is open right here? It's going to be the middle of the field, so I can either go inside third, which it's not showing. Now it's showing, so I guess the way they fix it is go to bluff blitz and then go up if anyone is having trouble with that. But I could throw him in the middle third like this, user Burgess, or I could leave Burgess in his bluff blitz or his 3-rec hook, and then I can just use it the free safety. I'm being pretty confusing. A lot of it has to do with the game not loading my stuff, but this is the main setup. You got 3-man rush, pretty good coverage. You got a hard flat over there. And this is going to be the first way to run it. So let's go with something like just a basic bench pivot look. We'll snap the ball with your user. You see how that vert hook definitely assists on defending things. And this will also help defend those running back routes underneath, which is what I'll show next. Aaron Donald, of course, not a coverage player, but he does work. He does get the job done. So that was setup number 1. And I will show the setup where I'm actually using the safety as well. Sorry for being a little bit confusing here, but you're going to press. You're going to man up X on X. You're going to throw L1 in a deep half. Put Aaron Donald in a vertical hook. The next step that you're going to do is instead of maybe putting Leonard Floyd in his hard flat zone, you can actually man him up on Jonathan Taylor. So we're going to go ahead and man him up. You see right there. Now he is in man coverage. Now there's not a hard flat on the left, so it can be a little bit depending on if there's a drag from the right side, which you don't see too often, but it could happen. So if there's any kind of a drag from the right side, that's going to be your responsibility. If you do leave this 3-rec hook, or if you run this setup, you might want to leave the 3-rec hook and actually user the safety in this case. The reason that being, 3-rec hook will defend the drags a little bit better. But we're just going to run it like this. Let's run double post, something like this. We'll see if he actually does defend it. If not, you're probably going to have to defend it yourself. But you see a 3-rec hook, he's going to line up on him. B, you see, gets a little bit of separation, but not a whole lot. Now, we are rushing 3, but Colts O-line, one of the better in the game, so, I mean, we just couldn't get a shed to save our lives, but coverage perfect in Ultimate Team, any other game mode, or if you're not facing the best offensive line in football, then you'll be able to get a shed. You're rushing 3, you're not rushing 2, so they won't be, terrible. They still will be pretty decent, but I want to show you guys the coverage a little bit in depth. Again, this was the one of me using the safety, so I do have to potentially watch either the seam or watch it deep with here, because you see Ramsey's pretty close on him, but if there was any kind of a speed discrepancy, then that could be an issue. Of course, normally you would have a safety here where Leonard Floyd is. Rams, for whatever reason, didn't have like any other fast safety, so I just put him there. He's decently fast. That would be defended typically a little bit better. Drag, you see the 3 receiver hook's going to defend him well, so if you're not putting a hard flat out, I'd probably leave the 3-back hook out there. Because any running back route will be defended, stuff like that. But that is pretty much the other way to run it. So I'm going to review those 2 setups. Of course, the normal one, you can just run it like this. This player on a blitz, everything else pretty much the same. If I am running it like this, I can also still deep half LB, but he just won't match, which is kind of an issue when you're running an entire match defense. That's why I kind of prefer to go with this look. Inside quarter, you go ahead and man up X on X, hard flat Leonard Floyd, put Aaron Donald in a little vert hook. Here's the setup. You deep half Taylor wrap, and then you just go ahead, user Fuller here. I could either user him. I could also put him in like an inside third to defend the seams. I can leave him in his inside quarter. Certainly an option. And then I can also go ahead, user Burgess. You throw him on a blitz. So there's a lot of variation. I know it is a little bit confusing. The screen looks a little bit different, and because my adjustments don't show right away, that's why I have to go to bluff blitz, which obviously switches things up, switches us to a cover 6 invert. But the cover 4 Palms traditional look is going to be something like this. If I wanted to go 2-man rush, I could throw that XD lineman in coverage as well. But just show this one more time. let's actually run vertical stock. So let's run some type of verticals. I'm actually going to show you guys my favorite vertical setup. It's going to be something kind of like this. So this is my favorite way to run verticals this year. I'm going to motion Pittman out, snap the ball right there, and this is going to be my favorite way to run it. You see, I just, I find someone who's not being defended. The running back wasn't to be defended, and then I just pick him up. So pretty simple stuff. 3-rec hook would normally defend that, but overall, some pretty solid coverage. One last thing I want to talk about is you have the option to also put Aaron Donald in a hard flat here. So I can hard flat Aaron Donald. So instead of the vert hook, we have him in a hard flat, offer extra help. For whatever reason, if the flat's getting open over there, that's what you can do. And if you don't need the vertical hook help, certainly an option. But that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you go ahead, smack a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more Madden 22 content. And yeah, peace. I'm out of here.